All right, guys. So now that we've done a little bit of a collaboration board talking about that famous engraving, let's go into it in a little bit more detail. So 3 weeks after the event happened, that's where the real influence started to take place. Paul Revere engraved that little depiction of the event that you guys just commented on and called it the Bloody Massacre in King Street. This is considered one of the most effective pieces of war propaganda in American history. It is not, as we discussed earlier, an accurate depiction of what actually happened. The Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History compiled a list of features of the wood carving that are either inaccurate or are used to play to the emotions of the colonist. They are: number one, the British are lined up and the officer is giving the order to fire, implying that the British soldiers were the aggressors. You can see how they're standing in a line, military style, firing into the innocent crowd, with the commander giving the order, when in reality, the commander was actually telling the soldiers to stop. The colonists are shown reacting to the situation, when in fact, they were the ones who had started to attack the soldiers. The British faces are sharp and angular, very menacing, looking like they're almost enjoying the violence, like the soldier on the far end, whereas the colonists are very soft and worried. This makes them look more innocent in nature. The British soldiers look like they're enjoying the violence, like the soldier on the very far end. Number five, the colonists, who are mostly laborers and factory workers, were dressed up as gentlemen. This elevated their status in a way that could affect the people that were perceiving them. Maybe the people that had never actually heard about the event and were seeing it for the first time with this carving. Number six, the only signs in the image that you can read are Butcher's Hall and the Custom House. They're both hanging directly over the soldiers. Number seven, the weather conditions depicted do not match the testimony presented at the soldiers' trials. There's no snow and there's no storm. It appears very clear out. And number eight, like we said earlier, the soldier's stance indicates an aggressive military posture, whenever we know this is not anywhere near what happened. For many colonists, however, this bloody massacre in King Street, I'm using air quotes, was the only depiction of the event that they would ever see, which created even more anti-British sentiment than there already was. This serves as one of the most effective forms of propaganda ever in American history. So let's take a moment to really reflect and ask ourselves, what about this depiction of history differs from the truth of the event? I want you guys to take a second and imagine that you're living in one of the colonies. This engraving comes up. This may be the only depiction you ever see of the event. Imagine how this one carving can influence the view of so many colonists. Guys, that's why in history it's so important for us to approach historical events from different perspectives. There's a lot to be learned here, but maybe we can take this away from future President John Adams, who was, as we said earlier, the very man that defended the British soldiers in court. He said, "Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence." With this quote in mind, your final task is to put on your true historian cap and answer two open-ended questions. They're going to ask you to discuss Paul Revere's engraving and why it is important for a historian to approach events from multiple perspectives. Thanks, guys.